All right, floor is yours, y'all. Boom.
This is a question for all of you. If you were to give yourself one piece of advice for your younger self, what would that be?
Kill it.
All right. So maybe a bit obvious, but just to like be my number one fan, I feel like you really, really need to cheer for yourself within this industry and really love who you are. And I know it's that question, oh, how do you love yourself? And it's something that you will like learn as you go along the way. But as soon as you start doubting and putting yourself down and comparing yourself to others, you're stunting your growth so much. And like, why shouldn't you love yourself? Like, why not? Like, genuinely ask yourself that. And it's that whole thing of maybe looking at your younger self. And remember seeing a thing about keeping a little picture of you, say, when you're 4. And when I ever look back at myself like that, I would never ever want to be nasty to that little girl. So why the hell would you do that to yourself? Because you're still her. So just really be kind to yourself, especially in this industry, because you're going to have times where it's not going to be so kind to you. And you have to be there and to support yourself because no one else is going to do it bar you. So I think that. I'll go with that. Go on, baby.
Great answer. I think I would say it's just, what is the bigger picture, you know? When I started off, I moved to LA when I was like 20, and I was just so obsessed and concerned and focused on becoming the best dancer I could possibly be, which is a good goal to have, right? Because I think, or I'm a believer in, if you decide to go down this road, this journey, and you just focus on the craft, everything else will fall in line. You know, there are so many dancers that have moved to LA that are just like, if I don't book a tour by this point, then I'm moving home. Well, they went home, you know? This journey has a lot of ups and downs. But what I mean by always being aware of the bigger picture, what is that? Because we all can't be dancers forever. We can't. Our bodies get old. You know, this is a young kid's sport. You can go into teaching if you want to go into choreography or directing, opening up a new studio. There's a lot of different venues that you can go to. But what is the bigger picture? Because God forbid, if you get injured and you just focused only on dance for the past 10 years, then what next? What do? You know nothing else. There might be a period in your life when you just focus so hard on this craft and the rug gets pulled from under your feet, and there's that moment of like, oh shit, I know nothing else, right? So being aware, what is the big picture? Of course we all want to grow. Of course we all want to be successful, right? But how are you going to incorporate that into who you are as a person? And it's important to like just start, because we're like 17, 18 in this room. Just start being aware of how you affect other people, yeah? Whether you're funny like this one and she makes everyone in the room feel good and she can light up any place at any point in time. That is part of her superpower, right? So how does she mix that superpower with her skills that she accumulated with dance, right? Or you might be super brave and super courageous and you might inspire other people to be super brave and super courageous. So how can you take that superpower and mold it into your dance? Because if you understand what your superpower is and how you affect other people from a genuine place, then you can create something new. Does that make sense? Create something so unique and authentic to yourself. There's a little story. So when I moved out to LA, it was 2011, holy shit. I went to a house party. We used to have house parties back then. I don't know if you guys do that anymore, right? Because of FaceTime. But I met this guy, right? And he was so hasty to show me his choreo, right? He showed me all these videos that he had on YouTube and all of his choreo. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. And he was like, why don't you show me yours? And I was like, well, I want to develop myself as a dancer. I don't really understand who I am as a choreographer yet. He's like, no, you got to put yourself out there. So we agreed to disagree. We go our separate paths. That man picked up a camera and then he opened up the studio and his name is Tim Milgram. Do y'all know who Tim Milgram is? He was a dancer. He was an aspiring choreographer. Did his journey take him that route? It didn't. But he created an empire. He created an entire new venue. When people saw him, he saved Millennium. I don't care what anyone else says. He saved Millennium, him and Trisha Miranda, right? he created an entire new venue that people didn't think was possible before, right? Because even though he had one goal, he still had an idea of what his bigger picture was. He understood who he was as a human being. Then he combined that with the skills and understanding of dance, and now he's T Millie TV. I had the opportunity to travel, to teach, and perform with a lot of artists, right? But who would you consider more successful? So what does that mean about success? That it's subjective, right? We try so hard to be successful, but success is up to you. The fact that you all have healthy bodies, that's a success, right? The fact that you can feel happy, and if you had a great class, that itself is a success, yeah? So always just be aware of what the bigger picture is. Just start thinking about that now before it gets a little too late, because when it gets too late, it gets a little weird, okay? Off to you.
I think they already said everything quite important. I would just add on what she said, like be kind to yourself. I feel like, because I teach at colleges as well, and classes and this and that, and what we do, or even in rehearsals, you stand in front of the mirror 8 hours a day, and you just look at yourself. That's not normal. Like our parents don't have that kind of job where all they do is stand in front of the mirror and also break themselves down. So you're not just standing in front of the mirror and giving compliments to yourself, because your role actually is, this was shit, let me make this better. So as a dancer, you look at yourself and all the time we're like, that was not clean enough. I need to do that better. Let's go again. Then you go again, you find a new mistake. So we're not training in compliments. We don't train, and in that 1 minute of dance, we say, this was good. No, we always find that one thing that was bad, we run it again. And we do that for 8 hours a day, looking at ourselves in the mirror. When you have bad days, when you have good days, bad hair day, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, and you break yourself down, 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 down. So what she said is so important. In those moments, you still need to remember to be kind. And then, I think I said it anyway, but have fun while you're doing it, because this passes. Like he said, you're gonna look back and then it's past, and you're like, wow, like I don't know if I lived in the moment actually, if I was present while I was training. Because you're stressing for that, then it's 5 minutes before the show, you're stressing, then you're on the stage, you're stressing, and then after the show, it's done. Like, did you have fun for all that process? Like, you were dancing with your friends and all that, like it's probably the best thing, and you were getting paid for it. So like, we're very blessed, like he said, we're very, very blessed. We just need to maybe shift our focus to mental health maybe a bit more. And if you're like old school, like we trained, you know, like it was that training when they were just pushing you and pushing you, and it was just you didn't really hear a lot of well dones. You always heard like, oh, that's bad, let's do it again, let's do it again. So I'll just say, be kinder to yourself, because it's not a normal job what we're trying to do. Like this, looking at ourselves and picking ourselves down, and have fun with it. Have fun with it, because that's honestly gonna save you. Sometimes you don't want to be dressed as a shark doing some things on stage, but I look to the right and there's Kane there. I'm like, no, this is fun. Let's go. So I find joy in something. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
When were you sharks?
No, I just saw a show. Oh, you saw a show. No, I'm just giving an example. If I looked at Kane and whatever we would do, I would have fun, even if they want us, I don't know, to be dressed as whatever.
One of sharks.
Yeah.
Who are the people that you looked up to or like trained with when you were training?
I'm weird, right? I'm not one of the like die hard like, oh my god, this dancer and that. Even still, I still don't really know people, and I feel like, oh my god, am I even a real dancer? Because I don't really know that person. I kind of just loved doing it for myself, but I really found a lot of inspiration within the room whenever I was dancing. I love watching people. Like, I really love watching people, and also, maybe I'm actually veering off the equation here, but when I'm, like, looking around, and even when I'm in class or whatever, the people that always, like, stand out the most to me was the people that you could tell genuinely inside, like, they really love what they're doing. Because we can all perform and be like, fuck yeah. But when you're actually, like, you can tell the difference of that and when they're just doing it, like, from their soul, do you know what I mean? So really, they were the people that I loved, like, fuck, they were, like, meant to dance. And you can just see it from their essence, you can feel it. So that was mine. I did love Janelle Janestra though. And Diane Tuvik. I used to watch them all the time.
Dang.
Yeah. Go on, baby.
Me, it was, I think Kane can agree, it was Misha Gabriel, Marty Kudelka, and Nick Bass, and Kenny Wormald. You know, there was just an age of triple XL basketball shorts, a white t-shirt, and a fedora. It made no sense, but for some reason, I wanted nothing else.
Please don't bring it back.
There was nothing else, right? But that was a cool, interesting age in dance because there was very distinct styles. It was like the Marty kids that were just smooth as butter, and then you had like the Bobby Newberry crew, and then you had like the Roro Omarion dancers. But every single one of those dancers could do all of those styles. They just stuck to the things that they preferred to, you know? But I think my biggest inspiration to this day, for another reason, is Tony Testa. Y'all know Tony Testa? So if y'all don't know, Tony was a tap dancer long time ago in a land far, far away, right? And I started out as a tap dancer, you know, and we were on this professional company that would travel. We'd get like $50 a day, but that's huge when you're like 14, right? Called Tap Kids. And I auditioned to replace Tony because I was 14, Tony was like 16, 17, and he just got asked by Gil Daldalao to choreograph for Janet Jackson. I'm gonna repeat that one more time. He was like 16 years old, and he got asked to choreograph for Janet Jackson. And I'll never forget why I found out why I was doing the show, because he showed me the way. Sometimes you just need one person to show you that it's possible, to inspire you to go down that journey, you know? And honestly, if it wasn't for Tony to see what he did, because to me that seemed impossible. My dad told me that it was impossible. All my friends told me that it was impossible, but he did it. So that was like the reason why I started dancing in the first place, or chose to be a professional. Yeah.
For me, I think it was first the musicians, actually, because in my country we didn't really have dance teachers that much, but we would get like a weird cassette somewhere from Germany, and then James Brown would be on it, or MC Hammer at that time, or somebody, and we would watch those performances, and then we would get together and try and copy it without a teacher. We would just try and copy it. So I think for me it was the singers first. I mean, come on, James Brown, like that's insane. And then obviously MJ and everybody else. And then I went through stages, like he said, because Nick and Marty and Misha, they were so popular, and they were in Europe a lot. And then we would just travel and follow them all around Germany, Austria, all that, because they were on tour, let's say, with Justin. And while they were on tour, they would teach as well. So we would just follow them. And then I think that was all choreo. And then I started doing some battles, and then my head just exploded. And that was it. Then from then on, I could just give you some names, and you guys either research or not. But the Mop Top crew, or all the Buddha Stretch, Lynx, they're all like amazing hip hop and house dancers. Mr. Wiggles for me was one of the main guys. And what else? I think it comes in waves. Like, because your dancing is changing through the years as well. So your, I guess, inspirations are changing as well. And then I think what she said, it's amazing. Like, your friends, they need to inspire you. That's amazing. Like, you're in class together, like, you're having fun next to each other. And I think that's really inspiring. Trying to think, what else? That's it. Art. I think art. Like, honestly, art. It's the best thing. When you see stuff on TV, like when you go to museums, all that, and then teachers will come and go in your life. Mentors, even if you're lucky enough to have a mentor, because I was lucky enough to have a mentor that was with me for years and years. So you just soak, and then you stay versatile, and you use other teachers as well. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Thank you.
In terms of like high pressure situations, like auditions or is there anything that you do to prepare for them, whether it's like outside the studio or like before you go on stage? Like, is there?
For me, sometimes I just need to be like, it is not that deep.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not. Like, we are so lucky that our job is our passion and the thing that we really love. Like, we're not sitting behind an office desk, or we're stacking shelves in Asda, or, well, I mean, we've all been there at some point, do you know what I mean? I did work in a chiffy, I loved that. But yeah, you just need to beat yourself like that. It's not that deep, man. It's just a few steps, because as soon as and I've been there, I used to get to points where not even like, and this wasn't even that long ago, I couldn't even get up in class, in groups, and dance, because I was so like, oh my God, I can't remember. And as soon as you get in your head, you have no chance. You just need to, because you're going to be out there in an hour, and then you're going to be like, oh, and the more you just keep tearing yourself down, you're not going to get anywhere, and you're just holding yourself back. So just be like, do you know what? This is all right. I'm going to have fun. You're going to do your best. That is literally all you can do in the end. And then whatever the outcome is, you take it on and you keep going. But yeah, it's not that deep. Don't worry. There's worse
On a big
things
scale, it
happening.
really is not,
Yeah, there's worse things happening.
I think like a big shift for me happened actually when the first time I just moved out to LA and I took my first class, and it was by these guys named Alex Feproth and Leroy Curewood. Y'all know Leroy? Please God, just say yes. To me, he's the best dancer in my generation, hands down. We can argue about it, I don't care. Leroy all the way, I'm his biggest fan. You know, I even tell him my DM, I'm like, dude, you're so dope. But I was in that class, and there was just so many legends in that class, and I remember seeing everyone dance and just realizing like, wow, I can't touch any of these people. They are light years ahead of me. And then I started getting scared, right? I started getting scared and nervous, you know? So what does being nervous feel like?
Horrible.
What is nervous? Does your hands get a little sweaty? Your stomach gets a little butterflies? Your heart rate starts going up? Now, what does it feel like to be excited?
It's kind of the same thing.
The exact same.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? It's this. You decide what those feelings are, you know? So it was a huge epiphany. I was like, wow, I'm scared shitless right now. I can either stay scared and go home, or this could make me be excited to grow. Excited and inspired, because then I was like, one day I'm gonna get to that level, you know? So it's really important whenever you're feeling the nerves. Again, pressure is pressure, right? It's always gonna be there, right? Even when there's a camera in front of my face, I'm like, oh, damn. And they're my moves, right? I still get a little nervous, right? But I have to remind myself, yo, I'm not scared. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm just excited.
Yeah.
I'm just excited. And I think it's also important when you are going to an audition, not to do it to book the job. This was a huge shift for me. I'm not here to book the job. I'm here to show the choreographer what I got. Yeah. There's a big difference, right? When you're there to book the job, you put it on a pedestal, right? And that's when we start getting in our heads, because then we put that pressure on ourselves. But when you just show up and you're like, you know what? I'm here just to do me. That really, really changes the game.
Yeah, I think putting yourself in those positions more and more, you're gonna get more and more used to it. It's like with everything. If you're afraid of water and you don't wanna, like, I'm just saying stupid things, but let's say you're just learning how to swim, and every time it's scary you go. But then the more and more you do it, then you're swimming, it's easy. Or with anything, if you guys are, I don't know, afraid of flying, the more you do it, the more you understand it, the more it is. In class situations, like he said, anybody step in the middle, front, center, and you can mess up because it's class. But let's say you do that for a month in every class, you're in the middle front, by the end of the month you'll feel better and better. There's little tricks obviously that you'll develop. For me, it was always good to know, like, how does it start? And once I knew how it starts, I was like, yes, then it just kind of go, I forget about it. But if I'm counting and I have first step, I'm good, then I just go. And also, this is from my experience, a good place to be is when, because I moved here from another country, so nobody knew me, right? So that was such a good place to be in. When you're anonymous, you can just go to audition, you can mess up, nobody knows who you are, you can do whatever. I feel like the more you do it, like years go by. Let's say for me now, a good example is I teach house, I dance house. If I now go to a house class, at the end, I already kind of feel it like, damn, I should really be able to do this at the end. And if there's a group, I should do it, you know? So it's actually, there's so many benefits to being anonymous, because you can just go and do it. Once people get to know you and let's say you prove yourself, the pressure just gets bigger and bigger. And sometimes we get like performance anxiety, like years down the road. Let's say you already did all your best gigs. Like I already ticked off stuff that I want to do. And then I do some silly gig and it just comes in. I'm like, why do I feel like that? Oh, because now my ego talks to me, but you're Marko, or people now know you, so you can't, they can't see you mess up or stuff like that. So it's a lot of conversation with yourself and your ego as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good spot to be like, you're just starting, you don't care, you go for it, you just enjoy it. Yeah, no worries.
What's the best way to find your own like individuality? Like how long does it take you guys to find like your look and your styles? And it's sometimes like especially with girls that we're told we have to look, we have to like own yourself. Like you can be in a room and look around and like 12 people who look exactly like you. So how do you like find your own sense in that?
That's hard. That one. I don't know. I feel like it's just you, and you can't compare. Because I know it's hard. Because they say you need to look this size, and you need to have this hair and that, and what is amazing. And I feel like more back in the day, it kind of was like that, which is amazing. Now it's not so much like. Not everyone looks the same, because I think back in the day it was really.
It's more inclusive now.
Which is amazing.
And diverse.
I just think you really can't be anyone other than who you are. Do you know what I mean? I can't be you can't be me, and that's what it is. You need to do what feels right for you. So wear your hair exactly how. Obviously, like maybe sometimes don't be don't be crazy with it, but just do whatever feels right. Because as soon as you start to try and be someone else, and you're like, I'm doing my hair because this is what he said, I'm going to do my hair like, or I'm wearing this because they said that, it's never going to, it's not going to fit well, and it's going to read in whatever you do. So it's really just doing what feels right within yourself, like how you feel. Like when I dress, I wear exactly what feels right for me, because that's how I know I'm going to like perform better, because I feel right in who I am. Really just speaking to yourself, I think. So it's a hard one.
That's a tough one.
Yeah.
I think just when it comes down to like your uniqueness, this is an exercise that I tap into is just ask yourself what you really enjoyed when you were a kid. You know, what movies did you like? What books did you like? Like what iconic characters, you know, did you really resonate with? Whether it's, I don't know, Superwoman, or I don't know, Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? You know, just something like that. Like for me personally, I get inspired by movie characters and book characters. So like, you know, when you're developing your brand, you know, look at the things that are timeless. Look at the things that are like classics, like a Marilyn Monroe, or like, I don't know, what's her name? Jessica Rabbit from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Yeah. Like timeless characters. Now, if you really, as a kid or even now, really resonate with this character, why don't you just bring a little bit of that element into your look or into another part of your creative process, right? Because you're not trying to be something that you're not, because you truly resonate with that character. You're just adding a little bit of that sauce into your brand, you know, and that's what's really going to make you unique. Because a lot of times, you know, and I was guilty of this when I was in my 20s, and I was like in a choreography block. I would just go on Instagram, look at the people that I idolized, find a few moves that I like, kind of learn them, and make a new variation of them, right? I guess that could be biting. I wouldn't do it all the time, but I would look at for inspiration outside of myself. But sometimes you got to just look within and just really ask yourself, what did I really enjoy as a kid? Because it's important to think about the things you enjoyed as a kid, because you like the things just because you really like them. Because the older we get, we almost are conditioned to like certain things. Like how many of us are wearing Nikes? We're wearing Nikes because we're told that they're cool. Yeah. Adidas, you know what I'm saying? We start liking things because we see other people like them. Does that make sense? We start dancing a certain way because that's the style, that's the trend right now, right? But then what happens? We turn into a clone, right? And we lose our uniqueness. And a lot of times our uniqueness comes from the things that we authentically like. Yeah, so just it's good to like write on a piece of paper. It's like, okay, I really like this, or I resonated with this, like whether it was from books or movies, and then see how you can add that to your brand, which is your look and your appearance, you know, and then you're gonna really you're gonna stand out in your own unique way that way.
Yes. You said that in a room you look around and there's people that look exactly like you, right? And I think, so if you take away the visual thing, then it has to be the energy. Like, if you're in a room and we all look the same, but we have different energies, and I guess in audition that really comes out. Obviously mixed with all your training. If that training is versatile, that's how you're going to find your style. If you only train one style, that's going to be your style. But if you train everything, then you're going to create a melting pot, and that's going to be your own unique style, because it comes out of all of them. This is like when MCs do interviews, and rappers now listen to Pac and they want to rap like Pac. But Pac didn't listen to other MCs. He listened to jazz, and he listened to blues, and he listened to other stuff, and then he started rapping. So we now dancing, you want to be a great commercial dancer, perfect. Now you have your heels, you have your techniques, you have your jazz, then you have your hip hop, then today you did a bit of house. Because, you know, music always changes. Like he said, there's trends. So remember the trend era when Neo, Rihanna, everybody was doing that little house thing? If at that point you knew house, in auditions you did the number, and then in the end they say freestyle. Now you just take out styles from your bag of styles, and that energy, even though you look like everybody else, but now wait, why is that girl in heels dancing house? That looks amazing. While everybody else is doing something else. So I think it's that versatility and training other stuff, and then with your energy and with your own stuff. And yeah, if we copy the people that we want to be like, we need to understand that those people probably are like that because they went above the borders, like with rapping, MCing. They didn't listen to other rappers. They listened to a completely other thing. Yeah. So even if we want to be commercial dancers, we go and we look at Fred Astaire, or somebody else, and that is really going to help us maybe. Yeah, that's how I think. That's how I developed my styles, just with like keeping my brain open and doing more styles so I can then find my style. Yeah.
That was good, that one, wasn't it? That was
Thank you. Yeah.
I think, no, it sounds really broad, but just being a smart dancer, I think it's so important, and that can go in so many brackets, to be respectful to who you work with, to be nice, whoever is around you is so important. Who you are, because when you're being a talented dancer and performing and getting on stage, that is just a given, like, that is just expected, but it's all the other things that you don't see until you get on jobs. Like, there is nothing better than just being a really good human. And mostly people are actually going to remember you for that rather than being, because you could be amazing, but if you're an arsehole, sorry. But if you're an arsehole, then that takes everything away. And that is really what you'll get remembered for. Because there's also other people that I know that might not necessarily be the best dancer, but all the crew love them to be there. All the wardrobe team, they're like, that's a real, and they want to work with them. They want to put them on stage because they're an incredible person to be around. So really just remember that. You never know who you're talking to, who that might be. Always respect people. Always, just be a good person, man.
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah.
I would say just you cannot take anything personally. Yeah. There's been countless times where I thought I absolutely killed the audition and I got let go. You know, there's so many outside factors, outside elements on why you're just not right for the job, you know, and that could be, you cannot let that hinder you or unmotivate you. You have to not take it personally. I know it's so much easier said than done, but like, there was this one audition. It was for Lady Gaga, right? And I don't know, my mom was really excited for me. She was like, "I hope you get it." She likes Lady Gaga, but the choreographer at the time, who I don't like at all, but he was just talking so much trash about my generation. I was the new generation at that time, one long time ago. So he was talking trash about how we take class, talking trash about how we do this. So that hurt my ego. So what did I want to do? I wanted to show him what's up. So I remember it was my turn. I went front and center, and I was like, I cannot wait to show this guy that he's an idiot. But then what happened? I did the first step, and that was about it. Fully blanked, completely blanked. And he saw me blanked, and he smiled, and he said, "Change lines." And I said, "All right, okay, here's my revenge arc." Except the second time, I didn't even do the first step. And I got cut because I took it personally. What he was saying, I was taking it way too hard, and it hurt my ego, right? So whether you just cannot take anything personally, guys. Whether you get cut, whether someone talks trash about your dancing or anything, any sort of judgment that's coming at you from an outside source, you have to let it go. Of course, sometimes it's gonna sting, but remember, it's not about how you react; it's about how you respond. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Don't take it personal. That's great. Because sometimes they have it on a list. You don't even know. You know, here in UK, we have as many agents as we want, right? So then you get the same job from 5 agents because they just send emails to a lot of people, right? And you come to auditions, but you don't know that on the list it says they need 5 girls with like brown hair. And you're there blonde and you're like killing it. And at the end you're cut and you're like, why? Because you didn't know the information. You didn't know what they actually need. You just came there and did audition, but you take it personally. But I think what she said, be a good human, that's so important, honestly. Because imagine that, you're rehearsing for 8 hours every day, right? You're with these people more than you are with your friends, more than you are with your family. Then let's say you go on tour, you're now on a tour bus, there's a bunk bed here, there's a bunk bed here. You're together 24 hours. You go shower, you eat, you do everything with those people. And they can be the most talented people, and if they're nasty, that's it. Like, that bunk is gonna be empty. Like, nobody's gonna want that. So I think that's super important. Just be a good person. People like a person that people would want around.
Yes.
And then being smart. There's so many examples. Like, you in a room, the choreographer is doing something with the right side.
Yeah.
You look at your opposite, and on your time, you already go over what they're just workshopping with them. Because when they come to your side and they say 5, 6, 7, 8, you got it.
Yeah.
Just be smart.
Yeah.
Like, just be smart. Look at your opposite, and you're like, okay, I just need to mirror all that.
Yeah.
Because I've been in situations like that. They come to the other side, people don't have it, and then they go off.
Yeah.
Because you were expected to be ready. I mean, you are being paid for those 8 hours. So I know, like, we're on our phone and everything, but for those 8 hours, you're being paid. So if they're working something, just be smart enough to understand and read the room.
Yeah.
Read the room you're in. That's so
Yes.
important. Just read the room you're in, who you're working with. Like, just read it.
Yeah.
Know people that you're working with. Everything is online now. You can go and you check them, you research it a bit before. Once you book a job, let's say you book a job, they tell you. So just go and research maybe.
Yeah.
And then you recognize the room. I think that's super important. And be a good human. Be a good human. Because then even if you do a mistake, they're all right. Because like, oh,
Yeah, 'cause he's
they're
nice.
fine.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, man. But you can be the best in the world, honestly, and you're so bad, like a personality,
Yeah.
they just don't want to hang out with you.
No.
Because they want to, like, you need to be with them for hours and hours and hours, and you're on stage with them, and you share intimate moments.
Yes.
That's the thing, you're sharing intimate moments. So it's important to be a nice person, yeah.
And think as well how hard it is when you're that good at dancing and you're a nice guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Nobody's going to turn you away, yeah. Let's go. You're booked. Let's go.
And there.
Ooh.
A lot of it asks me about still training and stuff. So what would be like your best advice to give to us who like we're currently training at the moment?
Right.
To be prepared for what to keep tempting something like that.
Instantly what I'm just thinking of, because I went to Ardang, which is like, I don't know if some of you are still in college, and I remember I was like going through, because obviously, I was there for like 3 years, and like halfway through I was like, fuck, get me out of here, man. I was like, forget this shit. Like, it's hard, it's really hard, but when you're out of there, you're out. You need to start paying for classes, you need to start everything, whatever. So you have that training and you're so blessed to have it, even though it's long hours and you're like, oh my God, like, I know how tiring it is. It's physically, mentally, spiritually, everything. You're getting KO, man. But just really take every moment, like every single moment. My motto in life is, I could get knocked down by a bus tomorrow, and see if I'd be so sad, man. Like, I'd be, like, I would not want that to happen. I'm always, I know it's a bit extreme, that your life could end tomorrow, but if you just think, it's my last opportunity to just get the most out of this, really take in that training, because when your college days are done, they're done. And life keeps going. It's not going to get any slower, it gets faster. I'm like getting old, man. So yeah, just really take in every single class as much as you can. That's what I would say.
I would say it's really important to see where your mindset is at, right? Because you have one or two options. You're either
It's a zoo out here. Come on. It's a jungle.
you either operate more from your fear of failure or your love of success. One more time for her. You either operate from a fear of failure or your love of success. And how do you find out which one you operate from? It's by pressure, right? You put yourself in front, or the teacher says, let me get 2 people, let me get 1 person. You put yourself out there. What's the first thought that comes to your mind? Oh, fuck, I hope I don't mess up. Yeah. Fear of failure. Or, I'm going to kill this shit. Yeah. Or, you know what? I'm just going to have fun. Mm-hmm. Love of success. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Some of us already know the answer on where we live. And that's okay. If we're in the fear of failure side, it's okay. We have to shift to the love of success. And how do we do that? By taking into account every single win, right? Like Marko was saying, when we see, and I'm still guilty of this sometimes, but I catch myself. It's all about an awareness. And if you have the awareness, you can catch yourself. You watch yourself on the video, you're like, ew, I can't. That one part, that one step out of 99,000 steps you didn't like. And that's the part that breaks our heart. Yeah. That's the part that puts us in a shitty mood. Or that's the one part you take a class, you're killing that shit, and you go in the select group and, right? I used to lose sleep over that, right? No, seriously. I'll be like, what did I do, right? The next time you film yourself, right? This is the age of the cell phone, and we all can shoot things in 4K. It looks more realistic than Jurassic Park, right? Which is great. Film yourself. Watch yourself. But hey, how about this? This is something different. Film yourself and don't post it. Whoa. Film yourself and use it for you. Film yourself and use it as homework. And if there's 3 things that you don't like, that make you cringe, that give you the ick, for each thing you don't like, find 5 things that you do like. For each thing that you don't like, 5 things that you do like. And then your mind is going to start shifting. Then you're going to only just start seeing the wins. Then you're going to smile at yourself when you watch yourself dance. And if you see yourself mess up or do something weird, you'll just chuckle and laugh, and it'll just brush off your back. Does that make sense? And that's when you'll start to feel really, really empowered.
Yeah. This is gold for your mentality. This is all mentality gold, like what they said. From a teacher point of view, because they already gave you all the gold now, I would say, because I see a lot of dancers, this is so interesting, but don't change it. We go to autopilot. Let's say we dance in one style so much, then we go to a different class, and we take the moves in, and we just change them. Let's say you train like that for 2 months, you just throw that training away because you didn't train in what that person was trying to teach you. Yeah. You know, if it's a sharp song, if there's lines, if there's clarity, then you have to train that. You can't just change it into your own little flavor. Because then why are you going to class? Then you already think you know better than a teacher. Mm-hmm. That's strange. Like, don't do that. Honestly, and we keep saying it, and then you keep seeing people doing it. So I would say that, like, set up an intention. Again, if you see it, copy it. Like, sometimes maybe they don't need to say it. That's what I would say as well. Mm-hmm. When I trained with older people, so I was a younger one, and there wasn't really space for questions. You just had to learn by watching. Yeah. You were the kid, like nobody was like stopping for you to catch up or for you to have no questions, stop the whole thing. So you just learn by watching. We watching. So sometimes, you know, when you lift the hand and you say a question and it's like it was just answered, like you just didn't watch or things like that. So I would say watch, try and do it, copy the teacher exactly like they do it. Yeah. Unless if they say, guys, this is free, your arms are free, you can just do whatever you want. Mm-hmm. And second thing I would say, I can't want this more than you want it for yourself. Like, I just don't
Yes.
understand that. I'm in a room, I'm dying, I'm giving everything, I'm on the floor, like, and you're just there standing and looking at me. And like, it's a weird feeling, honestly. It's a weird feeling standing in front of 50 people that just look at you and they're like, yeah, okay, give it to me. Like there's no accountability, no nothing, you know, like they rely on you, you're just going to give it to them. I guess we feel entitled, we feel like all that stuff, but we have to work for it together. Like we did it today, and you guys actually did really good. When I came in, I said, I'm going to give you all my energy, but you got to give me all your energy. And then together we create energy. I can't just put you all on my back and just walk with you. There's just no way. So you need to want it for yourself. The gold spot where he was talking about as well, when you guys are already now tired, but now you're at that point where you can push a bit more, and that's where the progress happened. If you don't want it for yourself at that moment, then there's nothing I can do. I can just shake you and do it for you instead of you. I already did it. I already trained for hours and hours. You guys now need to do it. So I think that's very important. So you have that mentality, which is perfect, and then really put that into work. Copy the teacher exactly like you want, like he wants it. Listen to them, and then be there. Be present in the room. Give energy. Don't just take. We just take energy. But we need to give as well, man. You need to give back. Give back to that person. Like be thankful. Like they're here. They're here for you. They came up with stuff. Give back for them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Perfect. No worries. Yeah!